People, when they think about the fall of the Roman Empire, usually imagine the same scene: barbarians at the gates, collapsing armies, palaces full of intrigue. But in reality, it's not that simple. A vast empire doesn't collapse from the outside overnight. It first decays from within. And one of the biggest reasons for that decay is usually money. That's exactly what happened to Rome. At the time, the backbone of the ancient Roman economy was the denarius. It was made of silver, solid and reliable. Soldiers in the army were paid with it. Merchants traded using this silver coin, and the Roman people stored their savings in it. In fact, it wasn't just about money. People trusted that silver coin because they trusted Rome itself. But as the empire grew, so did its expenses. Feeding soldiers, protecting borders, building roads. All of this required serious money. When taxes were no longer enough, instead of making difficult decisions, the rulers chose the easy way, reducing the silver content in the coin. At first, it wasn't very noticeable, but over time, things began to change. During the reign of Augustus, the coin was nearly pure. By the time of Caracalla, it had lost about half its value. Then under Gallienus, it was almost completely hollowed out. The people quickly noticed. Prices started to rise. Something that cost 1 coin the day before now cost 10. Soldiers began to say, "This salary isn't enough." Merchants refused, saying, "I won't accept this money." People returned to barter. The trust that formed the foundation of the system slowly disappeared, and that's when things completely went out of control. During the crisis of the 3rd century, Rome was already shaking from every direction. Wars, plagues, internal uprisings. But one of the biggest problems was that the economy was no longer functioning properly. The empire desperately tried to fix prices. Diocletian declared, "Whoever sells at a higher price will be executed." But the truth is this: a currency that has lost its value cannot be saved by law. In the end, Rome completely abandoned this coin. Constantine the Great introduced a new and strong gold coin, but for the Western Roman Empire it was already too late. Up to this point, it's history. But the real issue is this. This is not something unique to Rome. For example, the Weimar hyperinflation. After the war, Germany tried to pay its debts by printing money. The result? People started carrying their salaries in wheelbarrows. Or Zimbabwe. Same situation, just a different time. As more money was printed, its value disappeared and the system collapsed. Today things are a bit different, but the logic is the same. In 1971, Richard Nixon separated the dollar from gold. From that point on, the value of money was based entirely on trust. And as that trust gradually eroded over time, the purchasing power of money slowly declined as well. It's important to understand this. Things like this don't happen all at once. They happen gradually. People don't notice at first. But then one day, you realize everything has become more expensive. Yet no one can clearly say when it started. The people living in Rome probably didn't wake up one morning and say, "Everything is over." But the process brought them to that point. The clearest lesson to take from this is, money is not just paper or metal, it is also trust. If that trust disappears, the system collapses, and thinking this only happens to others is usually the biggest mistake. In summary, Rome's story may seem like an old history lesson, but it actually feels very familiar today. Because human nature is the same. And when it comes to money, the same mistakes can be made again.